Welcome everybody to part 6 of 101A AI 101. I'm Peggy with SCORE Pinellas. And again, I would assume most of you have already participated in some of our 1 through 5 workshops that we've already done on AI. And if not, tonight is one where I would love for you to all show your faces and come on, because it's a time where you're just going to ask questions, and Tony's going to show you how to do something or answer your questions. So it's more or less not so much him teaching set lessons, but to answer your questions that you might have had throughout the first 5 of our sessions. So those of you who don't know Tony, you're in for a big surprise. He is full of knowledge. He has done so much with AI. He continues to learn and he continues to get new information for us. He's all the way back in the 80s, has done workshops and also developed Cybertown and different programs. He's worked with famous recording artists, and he's done just so much that has the background and the knowledge that can help any of us with anything that we have just about. But Tony is a wealth of knowledge. He is here in town, willing to help. He helps at the greenhouse, and he's helping SCORE Pinellas. He's now a volunteer for SCORE Pinellas, and we're just so happy to have him. So if you have any questions, I'll be there. I'm going to put on the website so that in case you don't know how to get a hold of us or ask questions, you can go onto our website. You can find how to get yourself a mentor free of charge, or also how to sign up for some of our workshops. Or if you want a recording, there's also a place where you could go and click and see the recordings of the 1 through 5 that Tony has already done. And for the first time, we're going to record tonight's session because everybody's been asking a lot of great questions. We thought maybe other people would benefit from it. So thank you for joining us and giving us your time, and I'm going to turn it over to Tony.
Thanks, Peggy.
You're welcome.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for coming. And so I'm going to start looking at these questions. So Yvette says, I'm going to have my own real estate website in Southwest Florida. I have angst about how to create the best or most searchable URL. Can you provide some free tools that can help me? Well, let's just go online and take a look, because the first place I would go to do that would be Gemini, because Gemini is owned by Google, and Google, of course, is the company behind the search engines. So let's see if we can do that. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Poe. Let me see if Poe, yeah. I don't, how many here know about Poe.com? You can say in the chat, or okay, not familiar. Okay, good. So you might find this useful. Let me see what we're looking at here. Okay, so Poe is Poe.com, and so far it seems to be free. They haven't charged me anything. But what's interesting about it is instead of going directly to ChatGPT or to Claude or to Gemini, you can actually go to all of them here. So here's Claude, one of the Claudes. Here's ChatGPT, and then here under More, you've got different versions of Claude, including the paid one. If you want the heavy-duty one, then you have to be a subscriber, just as you have to be a subscriber for ChatGPT 4. I am a subscriber to GPT-4, but not Claude. But here's Gemini, Gemini Pro, which is probably what we'll do now. Yeah, I agree, Yvette. She says, I like Claude. I like Claude a lot too. But and it's got DALL-E, it's got image generators, it's got some of the free, what they call open source ones. So you can actually try the same prompts in numerous different of the GPTs, and you can then compare them and see which you like best. You can try something in ChatGPT and say, well, no, I kind of want it more aesthetic or more poetic or whatever. then you go to Claude, which would tend to give a nicer output. But we're going to, since we're looking at that's interesting, Pro Search. Let's see what that is. So let's see, I'm going to go back into the chat to see what you were. Okay, so Yvette, tell me more about your real estate. Are you a buyer, a seller, both, an agent? What exactly does your URL, your searchable URL, have to communicate? And you can speak if you want, or you can type, whichever.
Thank you. It'll be a website where it's connected to IDX.
Okay.
So once people are, excuse me, once people are signed up, they can create their own saved searches for properties, single-family homes, condos, land, lots, etc. I work for both. I help both buyers, sellers, and investors.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know what else you need.
No, that's good. So let me look at how to phrase that.
But for example, my friend, the one my friends have one that I like. It's My Southwest, just SW, My SW Florida Home Search. So that kind of puts in a nutshell or identifies our area.
Okay, is that one that you have available to you?
I do have it available to me, but
Yeah, because
it's already shared between 3 of us, so this is going to be my own.
Okay, because yeah, that is a good one. Okay, I'm creating a website. And you're a real estate agent? Is that how you describe yourself?
I am. I'm a realtor, yes.
Okay.
And I'm excited about your new training. You'll have to keep us posted on that.
Okay, will do. Creating a website.
That's why I was doing the happy dance.
Right. Where we will buy, sell, and invest. It's for the Southwest Florida.
Some other features, I don't know if it will help, is this is a coastal area. So it's Marco Island, which literally is an island, and Naples, which is my prime area. So there's a lot of things that are particular to a coastal area that people who don't live on the coast won't know how to deal with that in real estate.
All right. Coastal area. First coast. Can you suggest some I keep expecting it to pop up with a spelling thing, but it's not doing that. Well, I'm sorry that it was so slow, but Southwest Florida Coastal Homes.com, Southwest Florida Beachfront Living.com. Are any of those in the ballpark for what you're looking at? Yvette?
Yeah, there's some good ones in there.
Yeah, that's what
Thank
I thought.
you.
Yeah. So if you want the prompt, I'll just put it in the chat. And that was with Gemini. And the reason I chose Gemini, like I say, is because it's owned by Google, and Google owns search. So I'm just putting the prompt in there. Okay, let's see the next question. Oh, good, there's some more questions. I'm just going to scan them so I can be prepared. Okay. All right, so let's see what's next. I have a question. When ChatGPT had the plugins, I had several plugins that allowed me to paste URLs into the chat box and it would scrape those pages. But now with the GPTs, I can't figure out how to do that. ChatGPT just says it can't access pages from URLs. Is there a way to make that work again? Very good question. And so let's go to ChatGPT. Oh, actually, I'm already subscribed. I actually haven't tried doing this in Poe, so I don't know if it's going to want me to enter my subscription info. And just to save time, I'm just going to go into my subscribed version. Okay, so now, as many have, and as you allude to, many have noticed that in recent weeks, every now and again, you're doing something and you're doing some searching, and ChatGPT suddenly says, I can't access the web. And you go, what? You just accessed it 10 minutes ago. And it repeats, I'm sorry, I can't access the web. And so I did a bunch of research into this. And let me pull up the document that I put together that has the solutions. I'm going to pull it up on a different screen here so that I can see. Because I tried a lot of different solutions and some worked better than others. And then what I found is, it was very interesting. Yeah, here it is. I actually ended up asking ChatGPT. I said, does ChatGPT 4 have access to the internet? And the answer was no, it does not have direct access to the internet. However, I can retrieve information up to a specific cutoff date, which is December 2023 in my case. For real-time information or very recent updates, I use a browsing tool that allows me to search the web and provide up-to-date answers. And I said, thanks. Is that Web Pilot? Because other people had said, yes, tell it to use Web Pilot, which I've actually tried and it did work. When it says it couldn't access the web, I just told it, use your Web Pilot tool and find me this information, and it did. But no, this time, and this was only yesterday, it said, when I said, is that Web Pilot, it says, no, the tool I use is simply called the, quote, browser tool. It allows me to search the internet in real time to answer questions that require the most current information, or when a query is about something very recent or specific that might not be covered in my training data, which is exactly what we want, right? So then I said to it, okay, what is the best prompt to ensure that you use your browser tool? And ChatGPT said, to ensure I use the browser tool, your prompt should clearly indicate that you're looking for the most current or real-time information, or that you're asking about something that's highly specific or recent. So I asked it to give me some examples of prompts that would trigger him to use the browser tool. And he gave me 5. He said, can you find the latest news on the situation in specific location? What are the current stock prices for specific company? Check the latest sports scores for specific team. What are the most recent developments in specific field or technology? Can you look up a recipe that was published last week for specific dish? Let's see if there's anything more here. No, then I just asked it stuff about custom GPTs, and it was basically the same thing. So Amy, does that help?
Can you hear me this time?
Yep.
Okay. Sort of. So in the past, when they had the plugins, I would literally say like, copy a URL, paste it into, the message box and say, tell me about this website or whatever. So not necessarily like retrieving the most recent information, but literally going to a specific page.
Okay, well, I haven't tried that recently, and as you know, OpenAI keeps changing things, so I'm actually going to try it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find an example of where I ran into that.
All right, so give me a website you'd like to check. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it with a GPT, and it may pop up and say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't access the web. Then I will ask it, to use its browser tool, and we'll see if that will work or not. It may be that it no longer works, even if it did last week. So give me
I put one in the chat.
Oh, okay. Let me scroll down and find it. Okay, got it. Oh, a Google Drive. Huh. I wonder, that I think is...
It's not the drive. It shouldn't be the drive. It's the direct. I don't know why it says Google in front of it.
Yeah, neither do I. Okay, there's the site, right? All right, let's find out together. No, that's not it. Where was I? I was over here. Okay, summarize the data from a website I name. That's interesting. Why do they
Is
think
that
it's...
website Speed Reader one of the GPTs?
It's one of the GPTs I built.
Oh, okay.
Now, why is it saying it's too large? Let's see. Where were we? Content size being too large. Specific part of the... Is there a page that doesn't have a lot of content that we could see if what it's telling us is true?
Maybe try that one.
What's this one? Oh, this is the About page. Yeah, let's try the About page. And see if it's telling us the truth or not, which it might not be. Aha.
Okay. I didn't know there was a GPT to do that. I was just trying in the basic like chat GPT 4.0 or whatever. So, all right, cool. I think that answers my question. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome. That's why I built website Speed Reader, because people would often say, can you check out my website? And it would like 40 or 50 pages.
Right.
As if I had time to check out a 50-page website. So I just got Speed Reader to basically go to the site or the page and summarize it.
Awesome.
Summarize the content.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So let me go back to the questions. Yvette says, I don't see the prompt. I see it. Okay, good. All right, let's see what's next. Okay, Victoria says, I wondered if you could ask one of the AIs to take a picture you upload from your phone, but if trying to use the file for a really large picture, you would normally be prompted that the picture will come out blurry. Could AI fix that photo so it would be sharp, resolved at a very large size such... Oh, yeah. Victoria, are you familiar with upscaling?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, upscaling is basically increasing the resolution and the quality of images. Now, Midjourney, let me just pop into Midjourney for a second and I'll show you. And then I'll show you a couple of others. Where's Midjourney hiding? Oh, there it is. Oh, great. Midjourney is installing update 1 of 15. But luckily it's going pretty fast. Okay, it's reached 12 of 15. All right, so in a moment it should appear, and I can move it onto the monitor that we're sharing. Oh, it's downloading 6 updates. It keeps jumping off the screen. Where's it going? Ah, there it is. Okay. So this was some tests I was doing to show how badly Midjourney, what it does to prompts. I think I showed you guys a couple of sessions back the whole thing with ideogram, which is the one that actually follows the prompts in the way that Midjourney and all the other ones don't. But anyway, so let's say, okay, so whose question was this? This was Victoria. Okay, so Victoria, so tell me what image you'd like it to create.
Like if I had my son took headshot of me outdoors just with our regular camera. If I liked it as much as a professional photographer who already makes theirs available,
okay.
How would I
Okay.
make
All right. That's
mine?
sorry. Thanks for explaining that. That's a different thing. This is here when you create an image and you say you like one, you just click upscale the one you like and it will upscale it to a much higher quality. But that's not what you're asking. So let me go back to what you are asking. So let's go to Korea. Here it is. Kriya has a free upscaler. You can upload the image that you want to upscale, and you can do it, to 4K, I think even 8K possibly with some of it, but it will upscale it to higher quality, and I think it's currently free. There's another one called Magnific, which is unbelievably expensive, but Kriya does a job that seems to me just as good. So I'd recommend starting with this one, Kriya.ai. Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, now Victoria has a difficult question coming up, which is there a way to make a custom GPT that assists in setting up a medical research protocol if you're good with ideas, but if you're not that great with statistics? Can you give me more information as to exactly what you're asking here?
All right. So I'm starting a partly primary care and partly acupuncture practice, but the places that I'm looking to rent don't like when you burn moxa, which is like holding a lit cigar near someone along their acupuncture lines. So I've been trying this red light pen at home on my friends and family, but I don't know if it's good enough to offer to patients. So I would have to start a research study where half the patients I normally would want to moxa get this red light pen, and then the other half would be a colleague in a different location that is allowed to moxa, and then they would do it for the same type of problems, and then we would compare outcomes, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like an idea. It's too vague for me to say, well, should I set up double blind, blah, 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 chi-squared versus, all these things of how statistics compare things. And my son's going through a statistics course, but, he doesn't get it. So, I know I could hire researchers and stuff, but I didn't know if AI was to that point yet.
Well, it is, but what you're asking for is a pretty tricky thing. It's not something that a custom GPT can do natively, because custom GPTs are constrained into the ChatGPT environment. As soon as you want them to go out and get information from other tools or other databases or whatever, you have to write code. And so it gets tricky and expensive, or it can be. And the medical area is, well, as long as you're not doing diagnosis and getting involved with tricky HIPAA stuff, a custom GPT can be trained to do just about anything. It's just how sophisticated it is and how much coding is needed determines how long it takes and what it costs. But a simple GPT out of the box wouldn't be able to do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, thanks.
You bet. Let's see what's next. My business has, this is Shay, my business has an award-winning YouTube channel. Great, well done. We record them in clips, usually 5 to 6 clips per video. I have people who edit the videos, adding words, still pictures, music in the order we prescribe. Is this something AI can do? If so, how can someone then tweak, edit the video to my exact liking? This is interesting, because this is a little bit backwards from what people are mostly doing these days. What people are doing is recording longer clips, like an hour or 2 hours or 20 minutes or whatever, and then using AI to go in and find the most viral sections, snipping them out into shorts or reels, doing the animations, the transitions, the animated text, the music, all that kind of stuff, and doing the whole thing automatically, which when you do it manually takes a long time. But when you use a tool like Opus Clip, it even creates AI B-roll and puts that in. I don't know if that helps, Shay.
Yeah, I was trying to, figure out a way not to have to hire the video editor, I guess. And thinking that maybe if I said like, here's clip number 1, here's clip number 2, and it would do the transitions and the music and, all that stuff. But
Well, there are tools now like CapCut, which is free, where they're introducing more and more AI capabilities. Like removing ums and ahs and creating avatars that talk with your voice and lip sync and all sorts of different AI kind of stuff. I haven't checked real thoroughly in terms of how well they do editing. There are other tools like what's it called in video, where you can just tell it, create me a 5-minute video on this subject, and it will do it. It will create the storyboard, the script, does great scripts, and it will choose the footage, edit the footage, do the transitions, add the music, do the voiceover, tremendously human voices. But that's not what you're asking. You're asking, can it actually do the editing for you? Does anyone here know of a tool that does that? Anyone else here? Because I haven't seen that in particular. I've seen what Photoshop has recently added, where it can create automatic B-roll from Sora and other tools, and where it can extend the length of clips and do stuff like that. But in terms of choosing which or how to put, or choosing to put 5 to 6 clips per video, I know that Descript will do that, but that's out of a thing that you've done, that you've filmed usually as one clip. So, I mean, there are definitely AIs that can add words, still pictures, music, and stuff like that. But in terms of putting the clips in the order that you prescribe, I'm not sure that's coming, and maybe it's already there. So I'm going to ask again if there's anybody here who knows of a tool that will do that. Okay, Anna Maria says, Adobe Express kinda does that. I started playing with the paid version, but you still have to modify things. Yeah, that's true. I've played with it where you can just put different clips together and it'll add the titles, the music transitions and stuff like that. But you still have to put the clips there yourself and sequence them yourself. Same with FlexClip. That does that. I haven't seen one where you can just give it a prompt and say, take these 5 clips, put them in this order and do this, that, and the other to them. So I'm sure that's coming, but I haven't seen it yet, Shay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's see what's next. Is there AI to help set up a Shopify shop? Huh, good question. Let's ask. Well, look at that. Okay, so I'm going to say thank you. So, Pamela, it looks like the answer to your question is yes. Are you there, Pamela? Oh, yeah, there you are. So here, it gave me 6 different ways that AI can help set up a Shopify shop, and then it gave me 8 tools that can also help. Okay, so does that answer your question, Pamela? Pamela is quiet. Let me just run down the chat and see if she answered. Okay, so Pamela says, I don't think so. Okay, so turn your microphone on and tell us what your question is that it didn't answer.
Well, it's basically talking about all the things you can do once the Shopify site is set up. And my issues are in the setup, what to do for certain, banner pages and things like that. Things that Shopify has directions, but by the time I find it out, it's like I'm pulling my hair out. So,
oh, okay, I can definitely answer that. You see, here it talks about how some AI tools offer assistance in setting up the visual aspects of a store, suggesting layouts, etc. But what I was actually going to say is that what I do, if I'm learning a program or trying something, and I come across something that's tricky or I just don't quite get it, I just ask ChatGPT to explain it to me simply, step by step, and it usually does.
okay.
Try that, because that works very, very well for me.
Okay, so am I talking to ChatGPT at the same time that I'm setting up the shop?
Yeah, I would have the shop on one screen or half a screen if you've got one monitor, and ChatGPT on the other side. And as you run into things, ask ChatGPT what to do and how to do it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You bet. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Okay, is there a custom GPT that will serve me coffee every morning? Oh no, that's a different different question. Okay. How can I use AI to code and create an app? Can I use AI to create a simple educational game to use on a phone that I want to add to the app? Absolutely. ChatGPT 4 can do coding. In fact, when you're building a custom GPT, that's coding, that's building an app. And it can do all sorts of stuff. Sometimes websites require a certain type of WordPress websites require a certain type of code called CSS that I'm very slow and clunky in. So I just ask ChatGPT to write the CSS and it does it perfectly. But when you're creating say you've got a custom GPT, actually let's just go to, actually I was fine. If you're creating a custom GPT and you go into the edit GPT part and you go configure and you scroll down, you turn on this thing called Code Interpreter, and that gives it the capability of writing code and interpreting code and fixing code. Okay, yeah, so usually how I do it is if I'm creating a, or actually even if I'm not, even if I'm just in ChatGPT, and I tell it what I want the app to do, and then I ask it to create the code to do that, and it does, usually really fast. Let's just try it, see what happens. So it might ask me some questions as to what this simple educational game will do, but let's see. So we'll see if it asks for any details. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Imagine how long it might take you to write all that code. Interesting. All right, let's try it. Let's copy the code. And I'm going to open a text editor. Paste in the code. And save it as, might as well use their suggestion. mathquiz.html. The trouble with having 5 monitors is that sometimes things get buried under other things, especially when using Zoom that likes to cover everything. All right, so we'll save this file, save as. What's this? All right, so we've saved that as that, and I'm going to find it. There it is. And I think it just said open it in a browser. Let's find out. open the file in any web browser. It will display a simple math question. The player must type the correct answer into an input field and submit it. It also does visual games as well. I think this one looks like it's going to be pretty simple. Open with let's get the answer wrong and see what happens. Wrong. Try again. 22 and 26, 48. Yeah. So, so the answer to your question, let me go see. Can you use AI to code and create an app? The answer is yes, Anna Marie.
That's very, very cool. Thank you. So I'm sorry, I think I got lost where you saved it, the step where you were saving it and then for you to be able to access it. Because my whole idea is that I'm trying to create an educational app that teaches people how to do composting. And I would like the app to be more of a educational type of game. So I would like to have this game in the app and just wondering how to access it.
Absolutely. You just tell it exactly what you want. And you go back and forth and it'll say, is this what you want? And you say, almost, but I need it to do this. And it'll say, okay. And then you'll see it right in front of you, modifying the code. And then all I did was I just opened a notepad and pasted it in and then saved it under the name that it recommended. And then once it was saved, I just took my file map browser and said, open with, it could be Firefox or Chrome or Brave or Microsoft Edge or SeaMonkey or any particular browser.
Right.
Or
Okay,
in fact,
so
probably if I just double clicked on it, it would open in something. Yep.
so it's as simple as the GPT writing the code, and then you save the code on your computer, and then everybody in the world has access for that video game?
Yeah, if you put it onto a web page, onto a website. Because
would it be like okay. So would it be a plugin? Because I do have my website for my business that I kind of put together using WordPress. So would that be a link that I add on my website?
Yeah, you would just add this as a page. And in fact, what you would do is you'd create an empty page, and then you'd use the WordPress HTML box, and then just give it this code.
Okay, so it will be like a blank page, and then I
just paste in this code.
Paste that on the code of the amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's pretty wild what ChatGPT will do. A lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, this is just what I'm looking for. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. What does AI need in order to make me a PowerPoint? This is Shay says, what does AI need in order to make me a PowerPoint presentation? An outline, speech? Well, there's a number of ways you can do it. You can actually do it with ChatGPT. You can say, here's my outline, or here's my speech. Break it down into the slides and the visuals, and then create the visuals, and it will do that. But there are all sorts of AI tools now that are specialized, like I think Tome, or I think it's Tome.ai. I guess it's not. So I'm just going to go AI sites to create PowerPoints. There's one I came across recently that was better than Tome, and it might come up in whatever I find here. Oh, there's Pop AI, Beautiful.ai, Tome. So there's Tome. Gamma was the one I found. Canva will do it as well. There's Chroma. There's just loads of them now.
But like, what is like the minimum that you can give it? Can you just give it like a couple sentences and it'll just like, or do you have, how much detail do you have to give it in order to make you like a PowerPoint for, a 45-minute presentation?
Let's find out. So here's, they give an example. What do you want to make? A pitch deck for building a colony on Mars. So you see there, you didn't have to give it hardly anything. But of course, the more you give it, the better it'll do.
And can you tell it like how many slides or how long you want it to be? Or...
Yeah, you've got a prompt window here where you can give it the instructions. See there, it said, let's change up the look and feel. And you can say, hey, insert slide 7 about X. It makes it a lot faster.
And can you give it like your brand colors and stuff like that and your logo so it'll customize it?
I'm sure you can with some of them. I haven't tested them because I do it manually. I do it the old school way. Because my PowerPoints are usually like, you know, a lot of slides. But I'm sure that they've been around a while now, and I'm sure they keep adding capabilities.
And is that a free tool?
They all have a free, or they all typically have a free version where you get 400 credits at sign up, and I don't know how many slides that gives you, or $8 a month for unlimited creation, up to 15 slides, 15 per user, up to 30 slides. I'm sure they all vary. Let's ask our trusty GPT. Can't see it. My microphone's in the way of my keyboard. Are there AI slide generators that give you that was one of the ones that we saw on that list. They automatically adjust as you add content. You can customize colors, fonts, and layouts, and even integrate your brand kit. So there it is. Wide range of templates, design elements tailored for different types. Yeah, so there's at least half a dozen that enable you to customize.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, so I'm going to go on to the next one. All right, Bunny Dye says, I can't copy the prompt Tony put into this chat. Is there a way to do that so I can put... because normally you just click on the 3 dots and choose copy. Let me see what's happening there. More yeah, it works for me. Did you try that, Bunny? Did you try clicking on the 3 dots to the right of the prompt and clicking copy? Paging Bunny Dye.
Sorry, I was typing, but I guess it's quicker to speak. No, I did not try that. So thank you for that. I was trying the regular copy and paste with my mouse.
Gotcha.
I'll click the 3 dots, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, Amy says, I found it. This is the answer ChatGPT gave when I asked about web scraping. The feature you're referring to, where you could provide a URL and ChatGPT would scrape content from the URL, was indeed available in some iterations of the model when plugins were enabled. However, the ability to directly open and scrape content from URLs was removed in subsequent versions to ensure user privacy and data security and to comply with web scraping and data use policies. However, in the version you're using, I can still help you find information online using the browser tool, which is what we covered before. You can tell me what you're looking for, and I can search the web and bring back information from various sources. If you have specific content or a URL you need information from, you can describe what you're looking for or ask specific questions, and I can help you find the relevant information using the tools available. Excellent. That's so excellent that I'm going to copy and paste it. And then I'm going to show you guys something that some of you probably know about because I have showed it before, but some of you may not, and I think you'll find it interesting. So let me just paste this into there. All right. For those of you who don't know about GPT's Hunter, it's a great source of information. There it is, GPT's Hunter. So basically they've got 643,000 custom GPTs in there, and you can put in web scraping or web scarping even. And here you've got web scraping wizard, web scraping SC, a lot of web scraping wizards, web scraping pro. And so there's a bunch of GPTs that people have made specifically for web scraping. And in my experience, some of them work and some of them don't. And I, at this point, don't remember which do and which don't, but they're quick and easy to try. You just click on them and try them. Web scraping for database engineers. And in the GPT store, you can find custom GPTs for most anything. So, Kathy says, I'm so grateful for all your sharing and plan to look for specific tools you created on your website, but I must leave this tonight. Okay, well, thanks, Kathy. Rebecca says, I have a medical scientist who does consulting for physicians and biosciences. Okay. Oh, how do I spell CapCut, InVideo, and Opus Clip? Anna Maria, I spell them exactly as you did except for Opus. It's OPUS Clip, not OPAS Clip. CapCut is as you spelt it, CAPCUT. And CapCut has an online version and a downloadable desktop version. I personally prefer the downloadable desktop version. InVideo is exactly as you said, INVIDIO. And which AI do people use to edit long videos into reels? That's Opus Clip, OPUSCLIP. They're really, really good. I had a client who had a 2-hour video, and she wanted it cut into short clips, which would have taken just forever. And, you know, with the titles and animated titles and the music and her logo and all sorts of stuff. And it broke it down into 30 reels, and she loved every one of them. So Opus Clip is really good. Okay. I'm just scanning down further. Okay, I sell advertising and I'm always trying to find owners or marketing departments in businesses. Example, physician, regional hospital, or local Chevy dealer in Naples. Okay, Bonnie, I'm not sure if you're asking a question there or just making a statement. But you could definitely use some of these scraping tools for something like that, or, you know, tell it that you want it to, like we did before, where you want to find specific information from a page. They have definitely put some fences and barriers there for privacy reasons, but there seem to be workarounds. Okay, please create an app that educates people how to compost food correctly. Where do I find that information? Okay, Anna Maria, did you go to my webinar on creating custom AI assistants?
I did, thank you. I was just trying to put that information while you were earlier. You were putting information on the prompt for ChatGPT. So I was just putting, since you said that it might ask you for more specific information, that's kind of why I added that. So just please disregard that.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. Thanks, Anna Marie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Monica Doyle says it's at HTML. I think she is referring to that code that we wrote before, but yes, it's HTML. Tony, in your opinion, what is the most time-saving thing that AI can do for a business owner? Oh my God. There's so many. There's like 4,000 applications out there. I use it for research. I use it for creating images, for creating social media stuff, for video stuff, turning still images into videos, and for creating custom GPTs. That's the most time-saving thing for me, and also for marketing, because I was able to create custom GPTs that can do market research and they can create marketing campaigns. And then I created one called Marketing Mentor that takes the information from the campaigns and from the research and helps the person implement them. So there's just so many things. I honestly can't answer it as a single most, because there's so many things they've done. Are there AIs that convert PowerPoint to a blog? Well, not in terms of a direct, PPTX, which is the PowerPoint format. You'd have to, extract the text from the PowerPoint, and then it absolutely can create it as a blog. You would just use this paper clip here, put in your text, and say, convert this into a 1,000-page blog article. Make sure you cover this, that, and the other. Okay. Minnie says, my son recently received an Amazon book with images that were pretty obviously created by AI, and the main character looked different from page to page. Haha. Is there a way to ensure a consistent look for your characters from image to image? I'm very new to AI, but that just jumped out to me as being a potential challenge in using AI for illustrations or pictures. I missed the image generation class, so not sure if that was covered. Yes, that used to be an absolute problem. In recent weeks and months, all the major companies have been working on that. ChatGPT now has character consistency built in with a parameter called cref, which means character ref, where you upload the image that you want to be consistent, and then it creates subsequent images as consistent. There's one for movies called LX Studio. There's so many now. In fact, if you go to YouTube and say, AI character consistency, you'll find all sorts of ways to do that. And it used to be a few weeks ago that in order to do it really well, you had to upload like 30 different images and different angles and views. That's no longer the case. It's come a long ways. Yvette says 3 dots don't don't work for me. Maybe because I use the free version of Zoom. Maybe. It could be. I know they work for me. Are there any recording of the past events? And this one, I'm usually working very late, could not attend. Peggy. I hope I'm not waking Peggy, but Peggy, can you come on?
No. Yes, what?
Can you answer that question for Sihan?
All right. I was in the middle of typing something, so what was her question?
Okay, are there any recordings of the past events and this one too?
Okay, so all of the 1 through 5 that Tony has already done are listed on our website, and I'll put our website in again. And this is the first time that we've actually recorded session 6. And you'll get a copy of that. Now, tomorrow I have a busy day from early in the morning to late, so probably the next day I'll send you out this recording, and I'll give you the directions on how to actually get the go onto the website and get the recording. Okay?
Great, thanks, Peggy.
Did that answer the question? We'll find out.
I guess so. All right, so let me see what's next. Amazing, thank you so much. Another amazing class, thank you. Oh, okay. Well, I finished all the questions that are typed in the chat. So if you want to use your microphones to ask questions, feel free, or raise your hand, I guess, and Peggy will say who should speak next.
Right now, anybody can just go ahead and speak up if they'd like.
Hey, Tony, this is Monica.
Oh, hello, Monica.
All right. Are you ready for this one? You gotta, keep your hat on here, buddy.
Uh-oh.
I am not even smart enough to know the question to ask.
Okay, so ask GPT, what question should you ask?
So here's what I would like. Is there a way that open or that I can create a freestanding program that would, let's say, track one item through 4 different stations in let's say a job shop?
Yeah, that's AI automation. That's all very doable. It's also pretty expensive because it's all custom coding.
And there is no such thing as a simple version, but can we get Chat GPT to write the code?
You'd have to give it a lot of information, and it would probably have to communicate outside. Well, here's the thing. With the custom GPTs, if you're creating one to do a specific task like you're describing, but where it has to go out and interface with other programs, one of the ways that people do it is by hooking it up to a program called Zapier. And Zapier can interface with 6,000 other programs and give it up to 20,000 step-by-step commands to those other programs, extract data from those programs, bring them back into the custom GPT. And when it first came out, it was pretty hard to hook it up to the custom GPTs. It's getting easier day by day, and there are companies coming out that are kind of making it more automatic and less coding, but it's still a lot of work because you got to literally define every step of the way exactly what you need it to do and then explain it to a machine.
Okay.
It's
Thank you.
doable. It's doable, but it's a lot of work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Could we trust the codes GPT give us to be virus-free? Good question. I haven't heard of a single person reporting that the GPT code had a virus. So I think we can. I can't say for absolute certain, but I've never heard of that happening. Doesn't mean that it hasn't, but I don't know if hackers and virus creators are starting to work on hacking ChatGPT or not. But
I would like to ask another question, if that's okay.
Well, that will be $27. payable in Siberian goats.
I have 25 goats only.
Oh,
What
okay.
can we do for the other? Is it negotiable?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Perfect. I'm curious with what type of tool would you recommend to write a book? Whether on Audible book or an actual book, because I know you mentioned that maybe you were gonna offer a workshop on that. Is that what you talk about on the workshop that you mentioned?
Yeah, let me go forward into the AI for Authors workshop and I'll show you something pretty wild. Actually, this is kind of useful. I created Authors Ally, which is a GPT that helps authors with their careers and with their publishing and marketing and all that kind of stuff. But that's not what I was going to show you. I actually want to show you this, but I'm going to come back to that. But here's the, let's see. Yeah, these, I'm going to actually show you 7 slides of the only 7 prompts that authors need to write their book. Would that help what you're looking for?
Yes, and I'm sorry if you can hear me chewing.
No problem. Okay, so the first one is the brainstorming prompt, and these work really well with Claude. I found in particular, when I demonstrate this in the seminar, we use Claude, and it does a great job. You use it to generate ideas, especially focusing on a premise and an ending, so that it has an arc and it knows where it's going. And the author emphasizes the importance of knowing where the story goes. And examples: give me 10 ideas for the premise for a novel about whatever. Give me 10 ideas for the ending for a novel about whatever the premise you picked. Then there's a synopsis prompt. Helps in creating a detailed synopsis of the story, often using a traditional 3-act structure. It builds on the premise and ending, providing a roadmap. So say, given the following premise and story information, give me a highly detailed synopsis for a story, or the genre story, in the tradition of a 3-act structure. Each act should be clearly labeled and should build toward an ending I've described. Then when it's done that, you do the outlining prompt. So it creates a detailed outline of the story, breaking it down into parts and chapters. And then it has the prompt there. Then there's the character prompt, and that's used to write the character profiles, including the details about the protagonist, antagonistic, or mentor. It can include physical descriptions, backstories, and other character-specific information, and the prompt is there. The story beats prompt. This helps in developing the story beats for each chapter, and the beats are each little individual standalone section that is in the chapter, and then the character does something else, or something else happens. So it provides a detailed action plan for the script, and then it asks 12 highly detailed action beats and flesh it out, etc. There's a style prompt. Helps define the writing style, point of view, dialogue, verbs, conflicts, descriptions. And then the final one is actually to construct the prose of the story. It can include details of genre, tone, key characters, and it's used to write the actual text of the chapters, guided by the previous prompts. And an example is write 1,000 words of a chapter using the following details, and you tell it what you want. And these steps can be done in minutes, and it's a very, very quick way to write a book, which you would then, of course, change and make your own. And but I can't remember who asked the question. Was it Anna Marie? Maria?
Yes, yes, it
Yes.
was me.
Okay. So does that help?
Yes, it helps a lot. It
Good.
helps a lot.
Yeah. So when we do the actual AI for authors seminar, and I was talking to Peggy earlier about that, we might be doing that maybe this month, maybe next month. But you'll actually see me go through these steps, and you'll see it creating a book. It's pretty wild to see all the authors when I gave this seminar to authors at a local library, their jaws were just hanging on the floor. They were so amazed at how it could speed up their work.
Thank you so much for sharing this.
You're welcome. Okay. Any other questions?
If you don't mind, I'd like to ask another question, Tony. This is Monica.
Yep.
What's the best way to create a funnel?
Well, for me, there's a lot of work involved in creating a funnel, because you have to create the landing page and all the subsequent pages, the upsells, the downsells, the text, the images, the forms, all that kind of stuff. So to make things a lot easier for myself, let me see where I put it. Actually, let me do it the easy way. Find. I created Funnel Builder Funnel Builder Pro, that basically has 4 starter things, which is, can you explain what a sales funnel is? Let's start creating my sales funnel, and then it walks me through creating the funnel, and it creates the content, what should my funnel's landing page include? What's the best way to design a funnel for services? This is a free GPT. If any of you want to try it, I'm going to put the, you do need ChatGPT 4, but I'm going to put the, hold on a second, going to put the link in the chat, and you can try it out. So that's the one that I find the easiest for me anyway. It saves me a lot of time. Rebecca asks a controversial question. Do you think this technology will make people lazy, lose original thought or creativity, especially the younger generations that already use this to breeze through education requirements? Well, it's a kind of a double-edged sword, and the answer is yes, and the answer is no. Because there are some of us who have become incredibly productive using AI and definitely had a lot more original thought that's been inspired by AI and a lot more creativity inspired by AI. However, some of the younger generations, perhaps so. Oh yeah, Trisha, good answer. It will make the lazy people lazier and the creative people more creative. I think that's a very good answer. Because one of the things I found is the more I find out it can do, then the more things I'm able to do, and the more fun I have doing those things, and the faster I'm able to do them, so I get more things done. And it sparks ideas. My God, I have to have a little handheld tape recorder by my pillow, because in the middle of the night I get all these ideas. And I got one of these ones that it's instant on, instant recording with just pushing a button, so I don't have to fiddle with anything while I'm half asleep, because otherwise I'll just forget the ideas when I wake up. And then I jump on the computer and try them out, and they usually work. So, so all I can answer is, for me, it's not making me lazier. Your mileage may vary. Okay, any other questions? If not, we'll close it down. Oh, here we go, a question. Can you use a tool to gather data from multiple websites? Anna Maria says it's her last question, she promises. Can you use a tool to gather data from multiple websites and create a calendar? For example, all the gardening events on my county. I don't know without trying it. We'd use the scraping stuff that we tried earlier, and we'd ask it to scrape multiple websites and then create a calendar. It's quite possibly possible. I honestly don't know without trying it. And yeah, so try it and let us know. Joanne says, thank you so much, Tony. Oh, thank you, Joanne. Thank you very much. And thank you for having your camera on. It was so useful to see reactions during the seminar. It's really helpful. And thank you for the people saying thank you so much. You guys are so welcome. And Victoria is taking screenshots of something.
Oh, that link that you put in for the
cool.
ChatGPT Funnel Builder Pro, it wouldn't copyright for me, so I just took a picture and type it out later.
Smart. Okay. Oh, thanks, Trisha. Oh, I understand. I understand completely. Trisha says, oh, I'll try to be on camera next time. It's just a little late in the day and I get tired. Patricia says, we'll rewatch earlier ones. Yeah, that's a good idea. The first one is a kind of overview of the whole subject. The second one is how to talk to the machines, how to use prompts. The third one is a fun one, all about images and videos and music and all sorts of stuff that you can do with tools that's changing every week and that I have to update every time I do a new seminar. Okay, well, thank you all very much for attending this, and thank you so much for your very intelligent and challenging questions. And I hope I helped.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tony, again for your expertise and knowledge and patience with everyone. Sometimes we ask questions and we don't quite know how to ask it. So thank you for being so kind.
Oh, I didn't have to be patient at all. Everyone was wonderful.
Good, good. So I'd also like to remind everybody, I put the website in there again. I will send everybody a copy of the link so they could watch this again, and they'll also have information on our other workshops that have been offered. And please pay, and also take advantage of some of our other workshops that we also offer that are being available. We have some really good ones coming up. And if there's any other questions, we will be glad to say good night and thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again.